Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. The Dev Direct has finished. My stream is over. Thanks to everyone that turned up. Really appreciate it. But man, what a show. What a showcase. And it just goes to show that when everyone counts Xbox out, they are back and absolutely killing it. Even with the shadow dropped Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which is now $50 on sale, and you've got everyone going and spending $50 for it. It is day one on Game Pass, shadow dropped like a beaut. But pushing the shadows drop aside, which is amazing by the way, even though it is almost 90 gigabyte download, but it is a full-on remake after such a long time, and this is the version that you want to play, and this is the complete uncensored remake version. This is the one you actually want to play, even though it's, it's a lot harder. It is the Black Edition. But they showcased 4 games today, and all 4 of those games stood out in their own way and their own excellence. It was absolutely awesome, and this is why Xbox is winning. But you know what? I'm getting a day one with Game Pass. All of these games are landing day one with Game Pass. But you know what's the one thing that's even better than it landing on day one with Game Pass? They are play anywhere. So even if you purchase them yourself without having access to Game Pass, these games would be play anywhere. So you buy it once and you can play it on both your PC and your Xbox. So why is this important? Well, if you've got something like an Asus ROG Ally, that means that once you finish playing it on your Xbox and you're being mobile and you want to take your ROG out, you can jump straight into it on your Asus ROG. Awesome, right? That is the beauty of Xbox. But you know what? Let's have the drop because we're going to get into it. So the first game we have to start off with is, of course, Ninja Gaiden 4. Obviously, this was leaked earlier this week because people just cannot shut the F up about anything. People have to ruin every single surprise for anyone because that is the way the internet is. They simply just can't keep their trap shut. Everything has to be leaked. So we kind of knew it was Ninja Gaiden. I know some people like myself held out hoping it would be something else, so it would be actually a surprise. But it was Ninja Gaiden, but man, did it deliver in buckets. It looked awesome. The gameplay looked great. The graphics looked great. Everything just about it just delivered. Obviously, they announced the shadow drop as well, which was awesome to see. It was just... It's been such a long time since we've actually seen a Ninja Gaiden game, and this one is a true sequel as well, so it's part 4, so it's actually not like a spin-off like Yaiba was. This is actually a proper sequel that's continuing the story lineage that, left off with the 3rd game. So overall, should be a really, really strong series, and you know what? It is published by Xbox Game Studios. Who else is going to bring you amazing games like this? Meanwhile, over at Camp Pony, they're looking at Code Violation. Well, I guess it's actually called Code Violet, but if that's the slop and baby steps is what they want to cap for, let them. Right now, I'm really looking at Xbox Game Pass, my Xbox, my PC, and I am happy. Ninja Gaiden 4 is one game that I didn't have on my bingo cards that I would actually be really excited for. But the setting, it just reminded me of old school gaming. Back during like the Xbox, the OG days, the PS2 days, back when games used to be creative and fun. It just reminded me, watching that trailer, watching that gameplay, watching the Dev Direct for Ninja Gaiden 4, it just brought me back to that era, and I was blown away by the whole, aesthetic and design of the game. It just looked great. That's all I can say. I'm really excited for it, and it's coming at the end of the year. This is obviously in line with when Fable is supposed to drop as well, so that's 2 really big games that could be landing at the end of the year. Don't forget, there's also like Call of Duty and Microsoft Flight Simulator and Diablo and Starfield that's also going to fill in those slots as well. those are like the yearly games. So that's kind of a really packed window there on its own, right? You're looking at like 5 games there for the end of the year, but at the start of the year, you're looking at Avowed, which wasn't showcased here, but we all know that Avowed is landing next month. We're at the end of January anyway, so you might as well forget January now. So from next month we've got Avowed, then in March is pretty much a lull month. You're going to have third-party games filling that, and then in April, on the 8th, you've got the amazing South of Midnight, which looks absolutely awesome. I really wish they did give you the option to remove the stop motion in the cutscenes. I really hope they actually patch that in at some point. The whole fluid 60 and then cutting back to stop motion, I can see that being really problematic for some people, especially like myself, who gets motion sick. But the game just reminds me of Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which is a fantastic game, which is also available on Xbox. So if you haven't played it, check it out. It's really good. But South of Midnight just reminds me so much of that, almost like a spiritual successor. And I hold Kenna Bridge of Spirits in such high regards. So this game I am super looking forward to, and I'm really excited for it. The gameplay looks fun. The upgrading of the character looks fun. I mean, the graphics in some areas were a little questionable, but the overall culmination of the whole experience, the bosses and everything else, just delivered in such an amazing way. And I'm really excited to see how the story develops in this game as well. What it's really about, because we haven't really seen much of a story trailer for it. I suspect we'll maybe get something nearer the time, but that looks really, really good. Of course, then they showcased Obscur Expedition 33, which is coming at the end of April, and that is another game. We're talking 2 games landing in April. I think it was April the 24th. That game, I'm obviously looking forward to it. It's an RPG. It's slated to be about 15-20 hours long. It's one of their first games they've made, and do you know what? Another game where they are being supported and funded by Xbox, with the game being day one on Game Pass, so the game will reach millions and millions of users. I am super looking forward to this game. It's an RPG. It's a turn-based RPG with a little bit of a twist. They try to play with the formula of turn-based, but graphically it looks amazing. The story looks really interesting. It has Ben Starr as one of the characters in the game, so how can you turn around and say no to a game this interesting, this good, this great? It looks awesome, and I'm really hoping that it delivers in every single way forward. Of course, finally they showcased Doom, and this was the one that took up the majority of the Dev Direct. Now, Doom started off, it kind of looked, what you expect from a Doom game. It delivered what you would want it to do, and it delivered what you expected it to do. And then it did the unexpected, like giving you mechs and letting you fly dragons, and actually throwing the codex out the window and saying, you know what, we're going to put it into the story, give you actual cutscenes to develop the story in the game, rather than you having to sit down and read codexes. I mean, the codexes will probably still be there, but they're actually fleshing it out like a proper game, bringing and inviting more people into the experience. This is what you want them to do, to cater for everyone. And that's got me even more interested in Doom. So, how can anyone sit here and say that this was a bad presentation? This was a poor. I mean, if you look at some of the votes that are going around, people were rating it as a D. They are salty as fuck, mate. They are salty as fuck. That's what I'm saying. They are just so hell-bent upset that Microsoft keeps delivering year after year with these showcases and games for their community. What has PlayStation delivered? If they rate this as a D, I guess their last showcase was probably a Z, right? Right? Because there's no way, after all those game cancellations, the fact that they're probably having to restart from scratch, there's going to be nothing coming from PlayStation first party for at least another 4 to 6 years, which means the PlayStation 5 is going to be pretty barren from first party games until PlayStation 6, meaning that their PlayStation 5 is basically, well, the Pro is kind of like a waste of money because there's going to be nothing there to really deliver on. I guess Microsoft really are having to bail out PlayStation. This is crazy. But you know what all this means, right? The more Microsoft do this, the better it is. And I know you're going to get the Puerto Rocks and stuff out there saying that I'm crazy, but all this does, while you guys are out there saying, oh, Xbox is third party and Xbox is third, this just means that they get to go and buy whoever the hell they want. Because if you're convinced they're third party, if the media is convinced they're third party, that means the regulators are convinced they're third party. And when they start buying the Capcoms, the EAs and stuff like that, and bringing all of those games to Game Pass, Game Pass is going to be a service that is going to be undeniably amazing. It already is the best deal in gaming. But Microsoft is far from done from everything. And this just gets me even more excited now to see what they've got for the summer showcase. Because this is just a developer direct showcasing 4 or 5 developers on what they've been doing. The big showcase is in a few months' time. And boy oh boy is that going to be something that I am looking forward to. Last year's showcase was out of this world. Can they top it again? For me, the Dev Direct this year definitely did. But can the actual showcase coming this summer do even better? We actually have release dates this year, something we criticized Microsoft for last year, and they fixed that this year. The only one that didn't get a release date, proper release date, but it got a release window, was Ninja Gaiden 4. Let's just see what happens next. But as far as I'm concerned, this was an absolute banger. This was amazing, and Xbox gamers are eating good right now. You can download Ninja Gaiden 2 Black right now on Game Pass without having to pay $50 for the game. What more could you ask for? Right? That's me. That's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, do consider leaving a like, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release, and I will see you in the next one. As always, remain legend.